My friends, you are capable, worthy, and experienced. That statement may seem weird to you, given the fact that I probably don't know you personally. I don't know your deepest fears and ambitions and desires. We are very different people, no matter what, because each person is very much an individual in the highest sense of the word. We should never be stereotyped based on our age, race, religion, nationality, and so forth. That being said, I at least know some of what makes you tick, because I've met plenty of different people from a whole variety of backgrounds. Even though each person is different in their own way, there are certain trends and themes that seem to consume each person in one way or another. Something I've noticed, and I'm sure you've seen it too, is that there are so many good people out there that have so many great hopes, dreams, and ambitions, yet they fail to put those dreams into practice because of a crippling fear of failure, a belief that they are not worthy, and a belief that they are not experienced enough to embark on their dreams. I know people all around you might have had those experiences, and I know some of you might have had those experiences. I say this because I know that I've gone through similar trials, troubles, and tribulations, and I know people all around me have. It's a story as old as time itself, people believing they cannot be successful in one way or another. Stories like that can be found in literature as old as time itself, from the Old Testament to the New Testament, from Eastern literature to Western literature. But my friends, I want you to know that this tendency in human thinking, this belief that you are incapable, unworthy, and inexperienced, is a lie of titanic proportions. It is a lie that you have told yourself, or maybe someone else has told you. Maybe the intentions were good. Maybe the reasoning was well thought out and rational. But that doesn't make a lie any less of a lie. If you believe you are incapable, you're in good company. When Abraham Lincoln first became president of the United States, he worried that he might not be worthy enough in order to truly be able to keep the Union together. When Jesse Owens ran the 1936 Olympics, he feared that he wasn't good enough to win in the 100 meters and relay races. People as old as time itself, from Christopher Columbus to Mother Teresa, from Taylor Swift to Tom Brady, people who have been wildly successful have all feared failure in one way or another. They fear failure for a whole variety of reasons, but the ones who rose to the challenge pushed aside the problems of fear and achieved whatever it was they were aiming for. Even if their definition of success changed over time, they kept on keeping on, even if it meant blocking out the voices in their head that chanted in cadence, "You cannot do it, you don't have what it takes, you're incapable." We can push aside those voices by surrounding ourselves with people who affirm that we can, in fact, do whatever it is. We need to communicate that to ourselves through words of affirmation or written messages to ourselves or some other way that we are capable enough to do whatever it takes to achieve our own version of success. We need to remind ourselves of what we overcame in the past in order to achieve what we want to in the future. The famous people I mentioned beforehand achieved whatever it was they needed to do by being capable of telling themselves that they were, in fact, able to achieve their dreams. We need to keep them in mind as we aim for our own goals and desires. Next up in the list of dominant fears and worries that keep people from success is a failure to believe that we ourselves are worthy. There are millions of people out there who either consciously or subconsciously don't believe that they are worthy of success. They point to something they did wrong in the past and claim that that mistake disqualifies them from true happiness. They may want to start a business, but because they failed in the past, they think they are unworthy of starting a new one. There are plenty of people out there who want to become successful athletes, but because they failed the tryouts once, they think they are therefore no longer worthy of fame. Imposter syndrome is common among some of the world's most successful people. They fear that because they didn't work as hard as others, or they might not have sacrificed as much as others, they are therefore unworthy of whatever success they've achieved. But the truth is, my friends, there are plenty of people out there who became successful even though they started off as failures in one way or another. Before Ray Kroc successfully built the corporate McDonald's empire, he started a whole plethora of business ventures, each one as much a failure as the last. Before most presidents become leaders of the free world, many of them lose elections on local, state, and federal levels. People including Thomas Jefferson, Franklin Roosevelt, Richard Nixon, and George H.W. Bush. Before the light bulb was invented, Edison found thousands of ways in which it didn't work. And these are people that we all know. These are people whose names fill the history books, and we all recognize them as being successful in one way or another. These are the people that did not let their past determine their futures. We still consider them worthy because they considered themselves worthy of success. And if we think we are not worthy because there are people around us who are smarter or better looking or funnier or more charismatic, we need to remind ourselves that we are just as worthy as them, as long as we play the game of life fairly, honestly, and reasonably. Our worthiness is not dependent upon what others say or who they are. Our success is dependent upon us, no matter what others might say about us, and no matter how qualified others might be. As long as we work hard, help others, and aim for something noble, we are indeed worthy of success. Lastly, there are people out there who think they cannot become successful because they don't have the experience needed in order to do something that they want to do. They might think to themselves, because I never finished my college degree now, who am I to think that I can finish it? They might think to themselves, even though I want to start a business at this point in time, who am I to think I can start a business because I never experienced starting one in the past? It's a classic case of believing that we are the cycle that we were born into, that we are entirely our past. It is a classic case of believing that our past will only determine our future, and it undermines our own ability to influence our own destiny. Anyone born into poverty who made millions from their hard work can tell you otherwise. Children of abusive parents who refuse to treat their kids the same way can tell you that you are not the cycle that you were born into. People who were diagnosed with a serious illness who overcame it can tell you that you are more than what people might give you credit for. Just because you are inexperienced in something doesn't mean you cannot become knowledgeable in it. You can read books, watch educational videos, interview people who have achieved whatever it is you want to achieve. You may not have experience, but that does not mean you cannot overcome that handicap with hard work, knowledge, advice, and an unquenchable ambition. My friends, I say this because I want you to know that you are very much capable, you are very much worthy, and you are very much experienced. Nothing I have said today, as far as I can tell, has been misleading or disingenuous. You can do it because millions upon millions of people have done it before you. Your success is dependent upon you and you alone. What you do with what you have, your time, your energy, your talents, your dreams, these make you far more capable than you might realize. One of the sayings my mama used to tell me before I would go to work or before I would go to school was keep on keeping on. She always told me this because that's what she herself always did. She never had much growing up, but she always knew she had to keep on keeping on because sometimes you simply don't have any sort of a choice. You have to keep on keeping on when you have to put food on your family's table. You have to keep on keeping on when you have medical bills to pay or when you have clothes to buy for your kids. Sometimes we just don't have an option if deciding we can or cannot do something, or if deciding if we simply want to or don't want to do something. We need to have that same mentality when it comes to our own hopes and dreams and desires. If we know we have no other option but to do the things that we ourselves need to do, then we are truly capable of success. Then we are truly worthy of success. And we are truly experienced enough to become successful. My friends, thank you for listening to my speech, and I hope you have a phenomenal rest of your day. Thank you.